sailing from Santa Cruz. In the eastern Solomons, it took us 5 days to reach Anuta. It was one of the most tedious journeys I have made. The continuous pitching of our small jacks make it impossible to either read or write. So it was with some relief when the speck of land that was Anuta finally appeared on the horizon. We were the first visitor in 2 years. For a moment, thought the feeling of isolation was overshadowed by Joseph's T-shirt, which was emblazoned with the words Planet Hollywood Las Vegas. It would be hard to imagine a greater contrast between two places, Las Vegas, the capital of excess, and little Anuta, where even a mirror is considered a luxury. But while Anuta mountains may have severely limited the quantity of consumers good reaching the island, its isolation has forged a community spirit that would be very hard to beat. But while Anuta mountains may have severely limited the quantity of customers good reaching the island, its isolation has forged a community spirit that will be very hard to beat. The Anutas have their own word for this, Aropa, which means love and compassion. It is an ideology that is applied to almost everything they do. You can see it at work in the way food and tasks are shared. But it goes further than this. Bizarrely, they even adopt each other's children. Joseph's older daughter was adopted by a couple who gave him their son in return a few years later. When I asked Joseph about this, he simply said that it wasn't an issue. Was Anuta so children has communal. What was important was that everyone who wanted a child had one. So if a couple were childless for any reason, they would be perfectly entitled to ask another family member or friend if they could have their next child. Both mother and father had to agree, but requests are shared and refused. Aropa also extends to outsiders. During our 2-week stay, we had at least one meal in at least every one of the 24 households. Sitting on the floor of each hut, we were several community dishes of fish and glutinous puddings of taro and manioc, all wrapped up in the forest leaves. The meals prepared by the women were virtually identical from one hut to other, but this was all about rope affection, through sharing. When I asked Joseph what the biggest changes have been in the last 20 years, he said, young people playing ukuleles. Was this a problem? I asked, rather youngly. Well, he replied more seriously. Before the ukuleles, the younger generation would dance every evening. Now it's rare. I got the same response for at least half a dozen or other adults. As trivial as this sounds, it doesn't make one think about our own supposedly advanced society. We worry about our children getting in with the wrong crowd, taking drugs, drinking, teenage night crime, and other parents worry about their kids playing homemade ukuleles. One on the day we leave, a group of men come onto our yacht and with a little notice broke into their farewell song. "Sorrow, come to us." One of the chorus lines was, "Sorry, we will never see your face anymore." It was enough to bring a lump to my throat. The lyrics At a point, however, Anuta's isolation has meant that few visitors even returned. But then, this is probably just as well. The beauty of Anutan way of life comes from the relativity absence of outside influence. In the end, it was easy to see what the island's 300 people saw in that place. Has a hardened traveled, I don't know say this like